Okay, I will start on behalf of CAIR-Chicago. Today was an important day for Northwestern students. What we have is a university policy that is kowtowing towards fascist White House policies that are very frighteningly expanding the definition of anti-Semitism to include any kinds of criticism of a foreign government. And any American right now should be very concerned about that development in particular. The idea that students could be punished for criticizing a foreign government engaged in war crimes, engaged in genocide and ethnic cleansing, taking our tax dollars to do it. I think that is something that should concern every American. We're here, we're going to press forward in this case, and we are very confident we're going to conduct an investigation that will reveal that Northwestern is contributing to discriminating against students and also working with a fascist government in order to repress speech.
Hi everyone, thank you for being here. I'm with the legal team, and I want to start out just by thanking the bravery of the students. We have some very courageous individuals who have agreed to put their name on this lawsuit in order to help vindicate the rights of their colleagues and their co-students. And it's not an easy thing to do in this environment, and so we're absolutely honored to have the privilege of representing them here. We're obviously disappointed in the result. However, we are really looking forward to the next step and to bringing this motion again with a more developed record and the benefit of discovery in this matter. We believe in our claims, we believe in our clients, and we believe that our claims are meritorious and that the courts will agree at the end of the day. We also are glad to hear that the judge has confirmed that students can criticize Zionism and that they're allowed to do this on campus. And so long as they stay within the other policies of Northwestern, not to harass, they are free to speak about their political beliefs with respect to Zionism and criticize the state of Israel as they deem necessary. So thank you all very much for being here.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Zorak. I'm a professor at Northwestern. I'm the Senate President-elect of the Faculty Senate. I'm also the Director of Graduate Studies of my department, and as such, I have responsibility for a number of students who have declined to do the training or who have done it under duress. As a faculty member, I know that education is supposed to be about questioning, debating, pursuing deeper understanding, and speaking up for what one believes and what one knows to be true. And this training violates those values. Northwestern's insistence on the training module, and particularly its insistence on punishing students for non-compliance, stems from obeisance to the Trump administration and the Republican-controlled congressional committee that sought to force the university to impose punishment. Northwestern is defending the indefensible here. Northwestern's leadership talks about not crossing the red line of academic freedom, but has already caved to this lawless regime in multiple ways, wiping our values from websites, dictating what certain colleagues are allowed to do in their teaching and research, and incorporating the controversial IHRA definition of anti-Semitism, imposing this training, which, as required education, violates not only students' rights, but also faculty governance. Faculty are supposed to have the power to determine degree requirements in the various schools of the university. Yet the punishment meted out for not doing the training effectively makes it a degree requirement. Faculty experts, of which we have many, were not consulted in the development of the training, which is flawed and incorrect in numerous ways, and it erases the identities of many of our students. It also fails to fully account for the history of anti-Semitism and its present-day reality, in particular its rise on the right, which is relevant to its presence in the very highest levels of the same regime that demands punishment of our students. Students are being punished for their principled non-compliance with a training that both erases their identity, whether as Palestinian students, as non-Zionist Jewish students, and as scholars. It violates the truth that they understand deeply from their own experience and from their own scholarship, which they came to the university to pursue. So it's for all those reasons that I feel it's important to be here as a faculty member to support our students and to continue to do so as they continue to pursue remedy for this situation at Northwestern.
My name is Dr. Jonah Rubin, Jonahrubin. I'm the Senior Manager of Campus Organizing at Jewish Voice for Peace. Northwestern's claiming that its anti-Semitism training represents the views of the vast majority of Jews. That is patently false. Public opinion polling shows that 50% of students on campuses in the United States who identify as Jewish do not identify as Zionist. 50% of American Jews aged 18 to 34 recognize that the Israeli state is guilty of committing the crime of genocide. And Northwestern's comparison of critics of Israeli apartheid to racists like David Duke has drawn widespread mockery, and deservedly so. In response to Northwestern forcing them to take a discriminatory and inaccurate anti-Semitism training, students from our Jewish Voice for Peace Northwestern chapter have shown a far more effective path, organizing actual anti-Semitism trainings, one in the spring and one just a couple of weeks ago, in collaboration with Parseo and in collaboration with our JVP Chicago chapter, that show how to effectively fulfill the administration's stated goal of providing anti-discrimination training while also distinguishing between anti-Semitism, discrimination against Jews based on our Judaism, and anti-Zionism, criticism of a political ideology. The truth is that Northwestern's anti-Semitism training discriminates against Jewish students who are anti-Zionist, against Palestinian students, and against all people of good conscience. And it has nothing to do with Jewish safety. It's about Northwestern trying to cozy up to an increasingly authoritarian administration, a Trump administration that is obsessed with dismantling higher education as we know it. And we know that Trump's attacks will not stop here. We know that the Trump administration has weaponized Title VI, not only to attack anti-Zionist Jews and Palestinians, but also, as we've seen in the deals that they've cut with other universities, to attack trans students, to attack students on student visas, to attack diversity programs, and even to attack basic scientific research. Rather than stand up for the core mission of higher education, Northwestern has bent its knee to the Trump administration. It's trying to force its students, including its Jewish anti-Zionist students, to sign loyalty oaths. All of this is being done to protect their investment, to protect their complicity with Israeli state's genocide and with its apartheid policies.
Thank you. Byron Sigcho-Lopez, Alderman of the 25th Ward. And first, I want to thank all the students, faculty, and all the people who are fighting for our constitutional rights. It is important that we're here, and also a special thanks to all the attorneys that in a very short period of time put forward a case that has merit and has truth behind it. We demand today that our Palestinian identity in our community is not erased, is not silenced. We demand that we do not comply to an administration in the White House that is pretending to mix anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism, and the chilling effect that that has on our freedom of speech, for an administration that claims all the time to put America first. It is shameful that we are putting all our communities, our students, and the right to speech on the line to be complicit with a genocide. So we will not allow our voices to be silent. I am grateful for all the Northwestern students who have spoke bravely to defend our constitutional rights. We will not allow the Palestinian identity to be erased and silenced. We cannot allow our constitutional rights to be eroded with the complicity of a genocide. And finally, this is a fight that concerns all of us. All of us who are fighting for our constitutional rights. I have the right to criticize the federal government that is inflicting pain on our immigrant communities, just as much as they're inflicting pain and silencing dissent of our students. We know that students have been always on the right side of history. We know that social movements that are fighting for our constitutional rights have been on the right side of history, and we're proud to stand with all this coalition of attorneys, civil rights leaders, community leaders, students, faculty, and all Chicago that this weekend express their discontent. We demand that Northwestern, as other universities, do not comply with a regime that is trying to inflict pain in our communities and is trying to withhold funds with the excuse of fighting for our constitutional rights. They're actually eroding them. So in fact, I'm very proud to stand with all of you today. I urge all Chicagoans and everybody across the country to continue to fight for Palestinian brothers, sisters, and siblings, all immigrants, and all constitutional rights for all people. Thank you very much.
I'm not going to comment on the case, but I just wanted to give a much due thanks to this amazing army of attorneys, because what you see here is the last line of defense for our freedoms in this country. A snapshot of that all over the country. You have people like this stepping up to defend American freedoms. This case is not about Palestine and Israel. It is about America. And it's about our fundamental bedrock principles and values and ideals of freedom of expression and conscience, which is being attacked by this administration day in, day out by weaponizing our federal agencies against our people, our taxpayer subsidies against our citizens, our immigration system against our migrants and their families, our universities against our students, our employers against their employees. And it goes on, all in order to buckle their will to the will of the new king in town. And that's what this is about. It's about standing to protect American freedoms. Let nobody be mistaken about that. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, please go ahead.
Yeah, maybe a question for the attorneys. The judge said that she did not find any discriminatory animus, I think was the phrase, that students are required to do the training but not required to agree with the content. She also said a couple other things that seem to suggest there's some work to do to bridge that gap come trial. So how do you bridge that gap?
I'm Rima Kapitan. I'm with Kapitan Gomaa Law. I'm one of the attorneys for the plaintiff. And I think one of the things that discovery will show in this case is that certain expressions of national origin are permitted at Northwestern and certain are not. And this policy prohibits a specific expression of national origin and also a specific Jewish cultural and political expression. And one of the questions in discovery will be, how does Northwestern treat those expressions differently than other expressions? And we are confident that discovery will show there's rampant discrimination and systemic discrimination at Northwestern along these lines.
Can I have you spell your name?
R-I-M-A, Rima, Kapitan, K-A-P-I-T-A-N. Thank you.
Did any of the students who declined to take the training wish to speak as well? Do we know how many?
Not at this time.
Do we know how many students have declined and how many are in danger of losing their student status come midnight?
According to the university, 16, but discovery will confirm that. But we know there are many, many more who are opposed to the training, who only took the training and agreed to the attestations because they were being threatened with loss of student status, termination of student status. So there are many conscientious objectors, hundreds at least, and discovery will show exactly how many.
And it is midnight tonight is the deadline?
Midnight tonight is the deadline.
And as far as you know, all 16 or some of the 16 may lose student status?
We don't know how many will refuse to comply, but all 16 are at risk of losing their student status.
Is there information as to what happens come midnight? I mean, what does that actually mean, losing your student status come, going to class tomorrow and things like that?
Right. So tomorrow, for the students who haven't completed the training, they are unenrolled. They no longer have student affiliation with Northwestern, and they have to apply to reinstate their student affiliation. Thanks everyone for coming.